Hello students, now we are approaching towards the end of our course. But there is one very important sensor, which is humidity and temperature sensor. How would it be if I tell you that you can make your own weather station at home? Exciting, right? So let's get into that.
DTH11 sensor is the same component which will help you do this. So this is the sensor that is combination of humidity and temperature sensor. So it's a low cost, very simple to use, a simple sensor that's available in your kit. It's that blue color component like this. So it has 3 pins. It has one for negative, another for positive, which is 5 volts or 3 volts, and a center pin is for reading the humidity and the temperature. So basically, it gives you the relative humidity, which is nothing else but the humidity in the percentage. It's a basic level sensor, so it can read from 20 to 80% of humidity with 5% accuracy, and temperature ranging between 0 to 50 degrees centigrade with 2 degrees centigrade of accuracy. It can read once every second, so it's a kind of a slow sensor, I would say, and hence if it takes one reading at a time, then you would need to wait 1 second for humidity and 1 second for temperature. So in total you should take reading every 2 seconds, not before that. It was raining here at my place, so I'm expecting that it would be showing a high humidity, and also it is pretty cold here. So let's see actually what's the weather and the humidity at my place. To do that, we'll have to build this circuit, which is very simple. In my opinion, it's just power and one wire for reading the sensor values. So here you see the rightmost is the ground pin. Then the leftmost is for power, which is represented as red, and the blue one is the wire for reading the sensor values, and I've connected it to pin number 2.
For the sake of simplicity, I have just skipped the breadboard and connected the sensor directly. Here you can see the positive goes to 5 volts and negative goes to ground, and the out pin is connected to pin number 2 using blue wire.
Let's look at the programming side of it. And now I would rather request you to pause this video and try this program on your own. And there are a few hints. So this sensor has a library by Adafruit. You can install that library. It's named as DHT sensor library by Adafruit. After that, you can open the example sketch in the example section, and it is nothing else but the same program on my screen, and then try it. So maybe you can pause the video now and try it on your own. Done? Okay. Even if you were not able to, no worries. I'll explain each and everything here. So we will go ahead and use the library rather than creating everything from the scratch. This library is very useful, and just like every other sensor has its library, we'll go ahead and install that library through the library manager. What you have to search is DHT. Hit enter, and it will give you a library by Adafruit. There are multiple libraries again. You can use any of them, but for this example, we'll use this DHT sensor library. I have already installed it, so it's disabled in my case. Then you can go ahead and into the examples. It's a good way to actually begin an understanding of the sensor or any library for that matter. Now here, open this DHT tester, which is nothing else but the same program, though I have removed a lot of comments and made it a little simpler for this tutorial. So let's walk through what's there in this library, in this sketch. Firstly, we are importing the DHT library. Thereafter, we define the pin number 2 as a DHT pin and the type of our sensor. There are a variety of sensors. So ours is DHT11. Then we initialize this class. Then our usual suspect, the setup function, where we are defining the serial begin and the DHT begin functions. In the loop section, we are firstly defining a delay because I told you that the sensor is pretty slow. So it takes 1 second for humidity, 1 second for temperature. So we need to give it some room. Thereafter, we are reading the humidity by using the function called read humidity. Now your question would be, how do I know what are the functions inside this library? The answer is pretty simple. Just Google for the documentation of this library and you will get all these functions. Thereafter, we are reading the temperature in centigrade, and thereafter we are reading temperature in the Fahrenheit. So if you specify true inside this read temperature function, then it will pick up the reading in Fahrenheit. Now again, all the documentation will have the details and examples of this sort. Thereafter, we are checking whether our results were valid or not, means if they were numbers. If they were not, then that means our sensor failed. At the end, we are simply printing all these values in our serial console, serial monitor. So I've already uploaded this program. Let's see what's the humidity and temperature at my place right now. Let me clear the console and wait for it. Yes, so there you go. The humidity is 65%. That's because it rained over here. And as I told you, it's pretty cold and slightly chilling at my place. So it's 20 degrees centigrade. So there you go. You have a working weather station for your home already in place. Go ahead and try this example and see what's the temperature and humidity. I'm quite sure that a lot of people will comment that bro, 20 degrees centigrade is not cold, and I agree to that. So yeah, that's not chilling or cold. But that's relative. Okay, so yeah, you're right.
To make this chapter complete in all sense, I think we should show this temperature and humidity on an OLED screen, right? So let's see how it's done in the next chapter.